Hi, my name is Dinah Town. Today I will be presenting a stock valuation for Peachtree Securities, Inc. Suppose Teco Series A has a $100 par value and pays a 4.32 cumulative dividend that currently sells for $48 per share. Here we are asked to calculate the nominal expected rate of return and the effective annual rate of return. The computed nominal expected rate of return and effective annual rate of return are 9% and 9.31% respectively. The nominal expected rate of return calculates the revenue generated by an investment before factoring in expense, investment fees, and inflation. This does not give an accurate idea of likely earnings, but is used to calculate the effective annual rate of return, since the effective annual rate of return accounts for interest compounding. The effective annual rate of return evaluates the true return on an investment. Teco has 54,956,000 of preferred stock outstanding. Suppose a Series F with a $100 par value and a 9.75% cumulative dividend has a mandatory sinking fund provision. 60,000 of the 300,000 total shares outstanding must be redeemed annually at par beginning at the end of 1993. If the nominal required rate of return is 8%, what is the current value per share? A sinking fund provision requires the issuer to set aside money into a fund or account that will be used to repay the bond at maturity. With a nominal required rate of return of 8%, the current value per share is calculated to be $104.41. Now consider Teco's common stock. Assume that Teco's stock traded on January 1st, 1992 for $22.26, and a 6% growth rate is expected to continue indefinitely. Here we are to calculate the expected rate of return on January 1st, 1992, and we are also to calculate the expected dividend yield and the expected capital gains yield on January 1st, 1992. The expected rate of return calculates the anticipated return on a constant growth stock and is calculated to be 14.09%. The dividend yield represents the annualized return a stock pays out in the form of dividends. Investors will like to see at least a 3% dividend yield, but no greater than a 10% yield because it can betray a dividend cut. Here we have a calculated 8.09% for expected dividend yield. Since the expected capital gains yield can be unpredictable, it can be calculated monthly, quarterly, or annually. The expected capital gains yield is calculated here to be 6%. Next, we will follow up with 3 discussion questions. The first question is, what is the relationship between the dividend yield and capital gains yield? Well, the dividend yield and capital gains yield are directly correlated and remain constant under the constant growth assumption. Also, when you add the dividend yield and capital gains yield, it gives you the total return. The second question is, what conditions must hold to use the Gordon model? The first condition is that the dividend and stock price are expected to grow at a constant growth rate G. And secondly, the dividend yield and capital gains yield are constant. And for the third question is, do many real-world stocks satisfy the constant growth assumptions? And that answer is no. Business cycles and unexpected financial difficulties or successes interfere with the dividend growth. Suppose Teco's 6% dividend growth rate will only hold for 5 years and then return to its historical 10-year average of 7.5%. Calculate the value of Teco stock on January 1st, 1992. The value of Teco stock on January 1st, 1992 was calculated as $28.56. We are also to calculate the expected stock price on January 1st, 1993 and January 1st, 1994. The value of Teco stock on January 1st, 1993 was calculated as $30.62, while the value of Teco stock on January 1st, 1994 was calculated as $32.85. Calculate the expected dividend yield, capital gains yield, and total return for 1992. The expected dividend yield was computed as 6.3% and the capital gains yield was computed as 7.21%, giving a total return of 13.52% for 1992. Suppose Teco's dividend remains constant at $1.80 for the next 5 years and then grows at a 6% rate. Would Teco's stock be higher or lower than the $28.56 calculated from slide 6. Under these circumstances, the computed dividend was $19.76, lower than the computed $28.56. The computed dividend is lower because the dividend remained constant for 5 years, affecting the price in year 5. Using a growth rate of 6%, stock price of $22.26, and a dividend of $1.80, the expected rate of return is calculated to be 14.09%. Based on the information provided, is the assumed 6% growth rate reasonable? From the years 1989 to 1993, we have a dividend of 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, and 1.9 respectively. The growth rates as calculated are 7.14%, 6.67%, 6.25%, and 11.76%. The average growth rate is 7.96%. Therefore, the assumed 6% growth rate would not be reasonable since the annual growth rates are greater than 6%, as well as the average growth rate. Lastly, we would like to know if the 1995 to 1997 figures provided could be used to develop an estimated long-run sustainable growth rate. The formula G equals retention ratio times ROE gave a computation of 5.28%. The 1989 to 1993 figures cannot be used to develop an estimated long-run sustainable growth rate, nor can it support the 7.5% growth rate given in the problem. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.